Okay. So, how you doing today, you get?
I'm doing good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about it, right? You know how we got all the new Liberian artists them out there, good sounds. People say the music is evolving. Like, who your favorite Liberian artists right now? Like that you listen to the most?
I would say I listen to Jay-Z the
Like
most.
Jay-Z?
Yes.
So give me top three songs of Jay-Z.
The Game.
You like that song with the game?
Yes.
What about that song that you like?
I just like it. I think he has a great artistic sound. I think it's clean. I think it's inclusive. It talks about things that people can relate to. So I like our music. Our music is very diverse, but sometimes if it's only like cursing or things that it's hard to, like I pump in the gap, something like
True
that. It's
that,
really hard for you
man.
to vibe to all the time, maybe.
So the funny thing about that, right, is these guys are making music based off like their reality, right? You know, our culture is very like sexualized, like
Mm-hmm,
you know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? So it's like when you hear all this stuff, all this rude routine that men be on when it comes to that, yeah. So you the first person that ever came on this couch and said like you and not Bill about just in the music, which is crazy, yeah. But thank you for coming today. Today we are in a fast right now. We have a very, very special guest. This month is Women Month, right? So we're gonna celebrate y'all, right? But in the moment of me celebrating Women Month, we have a very special guest. I'll let her introduce herself to you. I bring woman too.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi in the Fries audience. My name is Rolyn Clark. I am a family nurse practitioner and also one of the founders of Heritage and Hustle.
Let's go, let's go. You heard it get Korea. You hear what the guest said she could. Yeah, but the cat, we got a big dog on the couch right now, man. So we're gonna go into like talking about some stuff, right?
Okay.
And before we start, I want to say big up to you and all the amazing things that you have done as a woman on this earth.
Oh,
Because the
thank
people
you.
think I hate women. I don't know why.
I mean, maybe it's the Instagram.
I don't know why. I don't know. People think why would people? I say I love women, right?
Uh-huh.
But I love women so much that I want them to be held accountable for some of the things that they have done to society. And
Okay.
women are so powerful. And I feel like if a lot of women sit down and realize like where we're going in society
Mm-hmm.
and be able to say, okay, let me kind of just take back a little bit and kind of rearrange myself. I think things might go in a better space for us. That's why I'm always trying to hold us accountable. Ask
Okay.
us real questions that'll make us sit down and think about it. So today we're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk about like some of the trial and tribulation as a woman, survival mode, and how you're able to kind of become who you are today. Some of the things you went through and things like that. So where you want to start? You want to start with the high or the low?
I mean, I guess let's start with the low so the highs make sense.
So we go to the low now, right? Yeah,
Yes,
let's
yeah.
talk about you, like Rolyn, right? Clark, right?
Uh-huh.
So who is Rolyn Clark?
Oh, that's a good question. The way I describe myself is that I'm an ambitious young woman. I love learning new things and I strive on finding ways to excel in life. But I'm also a mother. I'm a mother of a 9-year-old son, which I love very much. And outside of that, I love serving patients. So I'm a nurse practitioner.
So motherhood and son. Oh, I like that. I like where you're going with this. Because I've been these couple of weeks I've been trying to figure something out, right?
Okay.
You know, there's a stigma in our community about Liberian men, they're not this. Liberian men can cheat, they can lie, they're not ambition. All these things about us, like all these things and I sat back and I was like, cause you say you have a son, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes. A lot of men was raised by Liberian women.
Correct.
So where's the problem coming from? That these men are turning out to not be good to women in relationships because a lot of women are complaining that these men are not being good men to them. But you guys are raising these men so what are you guys, where are you guys going wrong at?
So, I mean, for me, I can't speak too much on Liberian men as a whole because I think everyone has a different upbringing. I would feel like it's unfair to look at our generation and compare to other generations when we are the first generation post stability. And so if you look at the structures in a lot of places, a lot of ways people were raised, whether their parents came first and then they were left back home, or whether, they had to live with someone else, I think that's a commonality that I see in our culture where people are not really raised in that nuclear home upbringing. So it's unfair because they're not really getting to see mother and father, how that interaction should be and how things should look like. I think when my parents came here to this country as well, they divorced early. Comparison to, I think if they were in Liberia, there would be more of a social pressure. It would be looked down upon
To kind of stay together a bit better.
Yeah, to stay together versus divorce.
So you come and push it. So are we going to say that change the location may be the reason why the men are not becoming good men to the women they're dating because the parents wasn't together, the guy didn't get to see how it is to be a man? Because I'm looking at it like this, right? I feel like women take care of their kids.
Mm-hmm.
A woman can take care of her son, but she can't raise her son.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So will you agree or disagree with me when it comes to that?
I would say a woman can raise a boy, but it takes a lot of structure and it takes a lot of discipline and being more linear. I think women were very emotional. And so sometimes that emotional piece in the upbringing, as young as my son is, if he has learned quickly, if you want something, you're nice to someone. So he'll be like, "Hey mom, how's your day? Did you have a good day today?" "Yeah, my birthday's coming up." So it's just like he already knows how to wrap people.
So he's marrying you already because that's how women get things from men.
Oh, is that right?
So I see that's how he's Liberian, man. That's like because I was nice to this girl the other day, right? I think at your event yesterday. Yeah. I was nice to this girl, and she was a Liberian man, like. So I see. See how I'm putting because I was raised by my mother. So I see. Could again say Liberian man get sugar mouth. So I guess we mirror how you guys deal with men, and now we deal with women like that. So women don't like their friend woman because I realized that. So we are literally dealing with women how women would deal with women.
That's a perspective.
So,
but I don't think it works. I think there's a book.
That's what I'm saying. It's a problem.
It's a book like I think it's like Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman. There's so many books. So like women, sorry, not that one. Women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Mm-hmm. And there's a separation in how men think, how men do things. And I really do believe that it's unfortunate in our community. It was unfortunate for me. It's not what I want, but I think if young boy has the opportunity to grow up with his dad in the household, it might be better. It's a huge impact.
So I'm going to ask you a question, right? So you think because a lot of these things are happening from people not being in the same mind frame, right? Like mm-hmm. They're not they're not working out. It's okay for people to break up. It's not a crime, right? So mm-hmm. You feel like when a man and woman together and they break up, do you think like the woman should give the son to the father to live with? What do you think about that?
So I look at it in a way.
What do you think would be right? It's not about how you look at it. What do you think would be right?
I think there's a time frame. I think that if young boy was raised by his dad, at any point in his life, it'll be great. But I think that early on nurturing phase comes from a woman. And
so the nurturing goes from what age to what age?
I would say by the time a child is hitting the preteen age, that's the most ideal time.
So you think he should get to his dad when he's in the teens, not like when he's turned like 9, 10 years old, because they start to like become them, like they create their self around that age of like 8, 9, 10, around that age. At the time they can start finding themselves.
That is true. That is true. I mean, ideally, in a great or perfect world, right? we shouldn't have to choose. You gotta have the best of both worlds, right? And I think in our community it's really sad that we have to kind of make these tough decisions because I don't think the kids deserve that. So every time I see a baby shower, I'm not gonna lie to you, every time I see a baby shower and I know like the people haven't really took time to like invest in knowing themselves or knowing if they're like a good fit for each other, it's always like, dang. You know, if anytime my friend tells me like, oh, you know, I think, you know, we just gonna have a baby. I say, no. That's such a misconception. People think having a baby is just like, oh, I could take care of the baby. I have the financial means. I have the time. I love kids. It's like, good for you. But if you have the patience, the endurance, like
to deal with the other partner, right?
To deal with the other partner and raise the child healthy and to deal with the child when the child's having some challenges in life. So it takes, you know, equal load. And I think a lot of times women enter the mindset like I'm going to have a child and if the man cannot provide, I think I'll still be strong.
I'll take care of my kid.
Yeah, I still got child support. I still got this. I still got that. Like honestly, child support, all that don't mean nothing.
So right now, I'm kind of understanding in a way where you kind of see that's a problem.
Correct.
Yes. That now, and I feel like, so you as a woman, right? You being able to go coming from, you was born in, where was you born?
Liberia.
Mm-hmm. How old was you when you came to America?
I was 4 turning 5.
4 or 5, turning
So we
5.
left 1996 war.
96. Oh, so you're in that's what April 6th war,
yeah,
right?
April 6th war. Yep. Because my birthday is the 22nd. So I remember we went to Ghana and then we came shortly after my birthday to the States.
So do you remember some of the things that, I don't think you remember things when you was 5, 6, did you?
A little bit. I remember, I think when I was younger, it was more of a like big reality of just remembering like the guns and, you know, trying to get on the ship and people like trying to get on the ship and jumping and like falling in the water because we were going into a cargo ship.
So you guys, so how long the ship was on the water for?
No, you know, when people are trying to get on and like all the refugees are running towards the cargo ship. And so some people couldn't make it.
Dang.
So you're on the boat and you're seeing people trying to get on the ship. And then you're seeing people kind of die, bullets passing, and the ship's like, oh, okay, we gotta go. Whoever on the ship, whoever down the ship. So that was really hard. I think 4th of July happened right around after that. So that was really scary as a little girl hearing fireworks and thinking, you know, the bullets are coming.
Trauma, right?
Then every night, I don't know about your family, or whoever family, but watching BBC News every night and seeing, you know, the killings, how people are dying. That was an integral part of our evenings watching the war. So it's just kind of like a reoccurring.
So how was you able to kind of get through all that trauma? Like, cause like that's something we don't really talk about in our community, like trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of us has been through, cause for me, what I remember as a kid, cause like during the wartime, I remember like a dead person laying down with a hand tied behind their back. Cause that, you know, it was, that's one of the things I remember. And my mom having me on her back and all these crazy things. We never really get to talk about it in our community. And I feel like we just moving. When things happen, we just
move.
We just coping with it all type of different ways. Have you ever figured out how to really deal with that yet? Like being able to go through things as a kid?
Yeah, I would say it would be unfair of me to really say that I had trauma compared to the people who actually stayed after the war. We were in Monrovia. Honestly, I never really saw too much of like a rebel. I can't remember like a rebel interaction. All I know was like they came. My parents were already ready to go. We had already had our things ready to go. My dad was already planning to go to school here, so we were fortunate enough to kind of have things set up. In terms of trauma, though, I'm talking to my family members, those who actually stayed in the war. What helped me kind of cope with that is really just hearing their success stories and how they managed. Like my aunt said, you know, wartime, she never starved because she was a farmer. And so when I see things about agriculture and I, you know, think about our food system and kind of how we moved away from that, it's like she farmed. So she was able to feed the rebels and then still make sure she was good for herself. And because she had that leverage point, she wasn't really impacted. So knowing how she, use her talents to overcome that adversity and maintain her safety. I thought that was really cool.
That'd be so crazy for me when I think people always say, oh, you're hungry in Liberia. How can you be hungry in Liberia? But let's take a little quick commercial break right now. So the best way to send money to anywhere in Africa, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, tap, send, right? So go to your store right now, your Apple store or your Android store. Or if you go on the internet, go on your wherever, your computer, whatever, put in tap, send.
Okay.
Cheapest way. I know you like to save money. When I say cheapest way, if I'm lying to you, if you go on there right now and then you also get $10 for free when you send your first $20 transaction. So to Liberia. So you saving money, you saving $10 and you also saving a lot of money by using tap. So make sure you use tap. And let me get back to this guest right now. She's giving you a free gin. You can't be in Liberia and say you're hungry.
No.
Because anything you point at saw is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to you, right? Let's get to you, right? So you came to America when you was like 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you guys live when you guys came to America? You guys transitioned there?
I mean, we transitioned to Indiana. My father was a Methodist pastor at the time.
Oh, you a pastor daughter?
Yeah, so it's so funny.
It was pressure, right?
Yeah, so I know a few. That's how I know a few of the other PKs. They were all part of the Methodist conference. Our fathers were. So J. Ennis, Bishop Ennis was the bishop at the time.
So you're pastor cheering.
We're all pastor cheering. Reverend Plato, his son, is also a PK. So that's kind of how we all randomly kind of knew each other because our parents.
So how was it growing up in a home as a young woman, as a pastor daughter? Like, how was it like?
Oh, it was confusing. Because Saturday night we're having, I mean, when you get out of wartime, I guess our parents achieving success, they were like enjoyment, So I remember we used to have the VCRs or video recorders. They'll be recording the party. And then Sunday will be in church. And then
part of your recording.
I don't know, the judge used to have party. Every time you have cable TV, it will party. This one party. They went to the farm, got goat meat party. So I grew up in an environment where it was a big sense of community when I was younger. And then on Sunday we had the church over, and then we had Sunday dinner. So it was just, to me, it was confusing.
So you was raised by your mother and your father, right?
For the most of my life, until I was about 8 or 9, and then they divorced.
So you stayed with your mom or you stayed with your dad?
I stayed with my mom, but I initially wanted to stay with my dad. I have an older sister, and so at that time we were kind of raised together and we're close in age. And so I didn't want to be by myself in the house.
So you stay.
Yeah.
You stay with your mother. So it was like, so that's the thing, right? That when it comes to like family, right? Because I was on TikTok the other day, we was talking, and I was talking to some girls who was having this conversation about like who we feel like for who to raise who. I was saying it's good for women to raise a woman and a man to raise a man. So what would you think would have been if you was raised by your dad? Like how you feel like that would have been like structure? That you wanted to go there because you come and get sport, right? That's why because Oma will know all your tricks.
No, I don't think that. I think that my dad was very generous and he was very loving. And he was the one where, like, when he got me my first computer back in the day when the big old like Mac computer came out, and he would give me like new CDs to play like computer games and stuff like that. So he always welcomed my birthday with like a cake and it wake me up in the morning. So those are like the moments. And unfortunately, my mom, she was really working really hard, and she was
working to sustain. She was working for you to survive. And the other people were just giving you things to make you happy.
So I did at the time. I didn't get that, but
you don't understand that.
But I feel like my dad had my dad had a good job too, because I think at the time my mom, she was a nurse, but then she had to become a CNA, so that's why she was hustling harder. Where my dad had a degree, like he had a master's in the U.S., so it was easier for him to at some point, get more money.
So your mother was a nurse. So
yes.
Is that how you got your inspiration to be who you are today? Are you like how did you get there? How did you get to be in the field you're in right now in the health field?
By force, by fire. It was one of those situations. If you're going to college, you need to become a nurse, and that was.
Oh, hold on. So hold on. So
That
hold
was
on.
it.
So hold on. So what's your decision?
No, it wasn't my decision. Actually, when I went to do college tours, I was trying to like convince my mom to put me into like tech and engineering. And anyone who knows me knows I still enjoy tech a lot. I still like logistics. So I look at problems, how things are broken, and then try to fix the systems. And that's what an engineer does. So I still think that way. But unfortunately, I'm like in this career. So now I'm trying to transition and figure out, healthcare, tech, how does that look like? So I think that's kind of my next pathway.
So your mother drove you into that path because she understood it. She understood like the things that came with and the benefits and things like that. So was it like she was trying to look out for you?
Yeah, it was more of like, the tech industry, just like how now sales, all these different industries, sometimes like they have highs and then when they have lows is really bad. So, and healthcare is one of those industries that stays stable for the most part. Like people say, oh, you can always find a job in healthcare. However, it doesn't take away from how backbreaking the work is. If you don't enjoy what you truly do, and not to say I don't enjoy being a nurse practitioner, I do. But if you don't enjoy your career, it's not as fulfilling. So I think that's one of the things I would like to see change in our community, in all African communities. And I think it's starting, but parents really investing in what the child
A lot of the kids
is talented in.
So what age you feel like a parent should allow a child to start to make decisions? Because it's like because the child don't really know nothing. Like the child is observing all kind of things around them, and they maybe put themselves in a bad space where they might take something that's not good for them. So, what age you think parents should start listening to their kids, or what age you start listening to? You're gonna start listening to your son about decision making. What age?
I mean, I listen to my son about decision making all the time. Like, I really wanted my son to be athletic. And like when he was younger, we were pushing like, let's do track. It was really fast. But then as he got older, he wasn't as athletic, So if he's like, oh, mom, I want to do golf and soccer and I don't want to do football, I don't force him to do football. So it's just allowing the child to make the decisions in their interest. And then also supplementing. So he doesn't like reading, writing. That's not his talent. So we just focus on that. But math, he's good at. So I let him, do math. And naturally, when he picks his career, he's going to pick something that he feels comfortable in. But we just got to support him along the way, the areas that he's not strong in. So he's more well-rounded.
That make a lot of sense. So what are some of the things you want like young Liberian women, right, that are going through like struggle to try to find themselves? Like, what are some of the things you have done to put yourself in the position that you are right now?
Yeah, so for Liberian women and all women, I think what I want women to focus on is to allow yourself to define your own success. I think often we allow like our barriers or what's around us to define our success. And I mean, a personal story for me, I survived domestic violence. I survived a lot of traumatic experiences in my life, the relationships, dating, and we don't have all the answers. There's no one here that's perfect. But if you do try and you focus on that, you will succeed eventually. And when I was in school, what really touched me was that like going through school and just not really having the financial resources, but seeing like my faculty or other people just look out and say, hey, I really admire your story. And we try to find money to support your education shows me like if other people believe in me, like I don't have no choice to not believe in myself, except to believe in myself. So I would say when you're going through moments of adversity, the worst thing you could do is stay stagnant. You should be so hungry for success. Like you should be so hungry. That should be your motivator. Like for me, and it's a bad habit, but if I go through like a breakup or something bad, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to challenge myself to like move ahead. You know what I mean? Like
you want each show see the man that the ex can be able to be like, yeah, I lost something. Man.
Yeah, man, every time my grandpa, when he first walked in my house, he was like, wow, you want to think about it again? I'm like,
yeah, you gonna make him, yeah, you gonna
I'm
make him,
like, why would I think about that again?
make him understand like he made a mistake, right?
Not
So
even
you
make a
step up.
mistake, but it's just like the worst thing you can do to yourself as a woman is like stay down
Let
when,
yourself go.
yeah, like why would you stay down? Like you're only hurting yourself. So, you know, whatever you got to do to like level up, you level up. And if the love is really there and things work out, no one says you can't go back to your partner or you can't work things out or you can't, you know, make it for yourself. But the worst thing you can do is take that energy
to kind of go south.
Yeah, that you could do achieving. I just had to learn that. Like I used to cry, be researching things on like, I'm pretty sure we all did this before.
What
Researching Instagram, how they find their person, how they did this, how they, you trying to find all the dots.
What do you mean how they find, like what?
You're just trying to figure out how, like how things happen. Like sometimes us women, we think we're like this perfect gem that nothing bad is ever going to happen to us. And then you're living in this like glass house and then to add, if your dad was like really, really present in your life, you just think like life is supposed to be perfect. You graduate school, you do what you're supposed to do, you get your ring, you live in your house. That was my life. It was like walking just like that for me. But then
and then reality.
When it shatters, you could be the best woman ever, but what is not for you, it's just not for you. And I think if you're okay with looking at the other person and having that grace for yourself and saying like, that's not a bad person. I'm not a bad, but the person it's not a good match. I like to go out. That person likes to sit down at home. You know, it's just not a good match. I like to, you know, read books and that person is not engaged in that type of conversation. So, I mean, if you're actually focused, and that's the hard part about us, right? In the community, if we're not focused on actually getting to know the person we're dating, we're focused on the feelings, emotions, the gifts, the physical connection, and not actually getting to know the individual as a person. And if you like that person.
So it's all about like you kind of getting to know that individual and understanding if you guys are aligned together. That's one of the key factor of getting in a relationship.
Right, because someone could be a good person, just not a good person for you.
For you. So that don't mean I'm gonna go say, oh, the man I did, the man just wasn't good for you, my sister.
There wasn't that alignment.
Yeah, it wasn't good for you. So when it comes to that part, right, about man-woman business, right, it's like I think it's like one of the hardest thing ever, like relationship, like being able to be with somebody else, because I can't think what you're thinking. Like you might be thinking something, I'm thinking something else, and we both think we on the same page. It's never possible. So it's just being able to compromise and things like that. I feel like that's the key to relationship. So being a young Liberian woman, right, that you have this great company, because we just left your event yesterday. It was very amazing. One of the best, put together summits that I've been to. Because, you know, you guys started on time. You laughing. Don't worry, I got you. Nah, you guys did a great job. You guys did an amazing job with the speakers you had on the panel. You had people of value that can give information. You had young people in the building, because you had the whole like best of both worlds.
Right.
Young people, old people, everybody all together over there. So what gave you courage to start something like that? That kind of movement that you got going on right now?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. When I was in school, a lot of times I would hear like different war ceremonies, you're standing on someone's shoulders. And I think often we forget that sometimes where you are in life is not because of your skills or qualifications, is, you know, whose shoulders are you able to stand on to help push you to that space. And so being a young professional, and at the time I was in Atlanta, if everyone is in Atlanta, you're probably around different cultures, just like any other city, right? And so it used to pain my heart when people say, oh, there's no serious Liberian people. All the people Liberian are not serious. I'm like, are you sure about that? So that used to really pain my heart. And then the other piece about it is that being in certain communities and people vouching for you and putting you on, like my first remote job as a nurse practitioner, I got someone that wasn't right for me situation. I had told him, like, we were chopping it up, and I was just like, hey, you know, I really want to work from home. Like, I can't, be in the clinic and then take care of my son the best way that I can. And so he's like, oh, I know somebody, my friend, wife works from home. And that's how I got my first work from home job. My first nursing job I actually got from my cousin. So most of the jobs opportunity I got is because someone, put me on. And so I think a lot of times people are discouraged because they're like applying, but it's like how you are around other people, how you represent yourself on the internet, the things that you say, the things that you do, all can be very impactful because you don't know who's watching you. Like one time my friend was like writing a sad story on Instagram. I said, can you please stop doing that? Everybody doesn't need to know you sad. Everybody don't need to know this is going on with you. So just be mindful, like when it comes to social media and things like that, what you put out there, because you never know who could be looking to give you an opportunity or find alignment with you or things like that. So social media is not for everybody. Keep your private business to yourself.
So basically you created this to figure out for other people to connect, to help one another, to move into spaces they want to move into. That's amazing because, like I said, you're doing a great job. You started in Atlanta, then you did DC, now you did Philly.
Oh yeah, Philly was nice.
Yeah. And one thing
Philly
about
was
me,
nicest.
Oh yeah,
yeah, Philly was the nicest.
So Philly was better than Atlanta and DC.
Well, I think we had more preparation and planning, but I think what people said was the perception of Philly, before people really never. And I'm like, it's there because I grew up with these people. I know they're successful. It's there. But people were like, no, we don't see this in Philly. You know what I mean? And there has been attempts before. It just hasn't kind of fleshed out the way we wanted it to.
I feel like with Philly, right, is like what you guys displayed yesterday was like you guys, because the people of success are around, right?
Yes.
So we have a culture set where people are uncomfortable by highlighting people that are successful. It make them feel less of who they really are, instead of them actually working towards that space or connecting with somebody that's going in the path they want to go in. They'll be like, oh, what you not do? What you not do? It's like, bro, you seeing what I'm doing. You understand? So we have a culture built around that. So, Philly is overpopulated with Liberians. So it's like they don't put nobody on spaces where they feel like they think there's somebody. That's why a lot of these events really hasn't been successful. But you guys was able to create that, and I hope you guys keep going. And one thing I want to ask you about, you talk a lot about your son, right? And that's like when you're talking about him, something I like and just spark.
Oh.
I can spark. I can see you smiling. Be so happy. So that's an amazing thing. So do you feel like a woman with a boy child, raising a boy child?
That's not a topic. We're not let it go.
No, because I won't get to the bottom of this again. Because we have to.
Maybe I didn't answer the first one, right?
No, you did. You give me an answer, but it's like you give me answers, but it's like you're moving it around to just sit in a mutual space where it's like both woman and man can do this. But I want us to kind of get to a space where we realize that a lot of things happen in society because we don't stop it from the beginning, right? And then when it gets to the space and we start, oh, this happened, we're blaming the wrong people. We need to take accountability. And I feel like a lot of women got to be really careful how they raise boys, because you're raising your son to go outside in the general population, and he has to perform.
I would say that it's just so much more complex than what we're making it seem. In order for a woman to adequately raise a boy or child, she has to have the financial resources. If she does not have the financial resources and the time, which I shared that I was working, just even working a 9 to 5, right? And my son was acting up. But I was in a pod with other women, Caucasian, Indian, other women who are going through the same thing. Like they went through a divorce. Unfortunately, they're working, they have a babysitter, and then the boy is acting up or the boy is doing something else. So I don't think it's only just about having the ability, but sometimes it may be the man has more flexibility or able to be present.
So who has the flexibility, basically?
Yes.
You don't think it's about like having that, like if I talk to my son, he's going to kind of rearrange himself due to his mom talking to him, and he's just kind of understanding like, okay, let me just make my mom happy.
No,
I mean, dad is gonna, you understand?
I agree though. I think that part too is important, but then we also have seen like the flip side, because I've tried like seeing, okay, let me see if my son can spend like a year with his dad and see what's going to
You did that
happen.
before?
Yeah, I tried that, but it was just like the outcomes were not always the best. Or even sometimes extended summers when he's having the same, behavior issues and stuff, it doesn't give me confidence because I'm like, okay, he's with you and you're calling me.
Oh, so he was calling you.
Yeah, during the summer, letting me know what he's doing. So it just sometimes
But they'll go back to, because was he raised by his mother too?
He had a different childhood.
So most of the time, like these things I'm talking about go all the way back, because for me, my father was raised by his mother.
Mm-hmm.
So he has some behavior in him.
That's not the best.
That didn't sit well with my oma. And then me, I raised with my oma. Now I haven't been able with women there. I don't sit well with women there. Yeah. Because I think I'm dealing with women there how women would deal with women. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. Like, cause you know how women are. Like, you guys can't stand one another. That's another thing I want to talk about too. Why is it you guys don't really like one another? When I say don't like, you guys don't really protect one another, because when it comes to like, I feel like if women was really together, men would not be cheating like that, the way men could cheat.
Because women would communicate or like stand for each other and stuff.
I feel like, yeah, you guys will not. I feel like, because if like you guys will, if you take a look at this, right? If we all together, right, that means it stops somebody from infiltrating us or doing certain things to us. Mm-hmm. Because I was watching this live, right? This Liberian girl that's in Liberia, this young girl that flew from here to go Liberia, mm-hmm. She used to date this other kid. I think he was bisexual. He liked one more man, right? Mm-hmm. So she broke up with that kid because she said the kid wasn't honest to her. So her new boyfriend, he liked one more man too. And she came on interview on the podcast called Street Fries, right? Mm-hmm. And she said to the guy was like, "Oh, so you did another hairdresser again?" Mm-hmm. That like man, right? And she said, "I don't care what you like, so long you honest with me." Okay. So she okay with the boy liking man, but so long he told her that he liked man, she's okay with that. So I feel like the rules change. Like, you guys do like what you do based off your personal feelings. It's not like because we all if our man with us, we gonna date men that like women. We're not gonna date men that like men too. Mm. You understand? So like what is it with that? With y'all, like when it comes to like how you guys just move the goalpost based off of how you guys feel. I feel like you guys leave it open for people to operate with y'all, and they wouldn't want to operate with y'all.
I mean, again, I think all these conversations, I can't really relate to that particular story. That's not me. But I think a lot of these situations and stories, I used to think, and let me correct myself, I used to think, like, sometimes I look at my friends who have close relationships with their moms. I'm like, probably, if more women had close relationship with their moms, had more discussions, more this, more that, then they would be raised in a way where they would understand, the relationships, how to navigate, how to just be a better woman. They will learn from their mother's mistakes. Mm. But what I found in this generation across, I have friends from different nations. I don't think it's a Liberian problem. I think because we highlight it so much, it appears like a Liberian problem, but it's a problem in most societies, most, cultures or ethnicities.
Like what? Like relationships and all these different things, like man-woman business?
I think that the relationships, knowing yourself, knowing how to set boundaries, knowing how to, the courtesies of being a man, showing decent respect, all those things come from a broken home structure. And so the more stable home structures we have, and fortunately we are the generation who's going to see that change. And maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like our generation, I'm speaking from the people in our 30s who predominantly have broken home structure, we see a lot more of the nonsense versus the newer generation that's coming up who, even if we had certain situations that didn't work out, we still were able to keep some type of co-parenting situation for those kids. And I'm seeing the Gen Zs of Liberians more focused, more ambitious. I may be wrong.
So you feel like the new generation is going to help the family structure, basically, or help the
narrative of the poor behavior from the Liberian.
So I think I heard you was you married before?
I was engaged but not married. Yeah.
Engaged. So I want to ask you a question, right? Why do women? Because a lot of women that I've came across, I'm mad. People always make this joke with me, but when you get married and things like that, why do people feel like marriage is the end goal to a relationship? Like, why marriage is something so important to women? Like, why you guys?
I think marriage is symbolic of a person, particularly a man, right? Making a commitment to a woman in a tangible way. So, for instance, you can say like, oh, I got you. You know what I mean? Like when you get your business, I got you, right?
Also, the marriage can be the one that secure the deal.
No. Think about it. If you're doing business with someone, they're like, okay, you're going to support my business. Like, yeah, I got you. I'm coming. That's what it sounds like in our ears versus someone actually coming and investing, patronizing, signing a contract and say, hey, I'm giving you $10,000 for you to see your business executed. And I'm investing in this and I'm, that's a different type of commitment than someone saying like, yeah. When you study, I got you.
So marriage basically is like a security, basically. Security blanket.
Not a security blanket because a marriage,
it's really not.
A marriage can fail, right? Yeah. But there's things that people do taking to that marriage, right? They try to do some type of couples counseling or therapy. So they take ownership of working on themselves or the relationship issues, right? That's one of the big things that people do in marriages that people don't typically do in relationships. Okay. So that's the barrier that happens because your relationship is not going to move forward. But sometimes it's like, when you're dating, it's like, why am I going to go through counseling with someone who boyfriend? You know what I mean?
So you guys don't even value companionship.
I don't say you value companionship. I'm saying some of those things are not maybe discussed or incorporated in a relationship.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people get married, right? And they was in a good relationship, and then when they got married and they break up, I'm like, what happened? Like, was you guys about to get broke? Was you guys about to break up, and then you're married because he did something wrong or she did something wrong, and then when you guys got married, you couldn't work through it because it's crazy. People spend $100,000+ on weddings. Mm-hmm. They loan money, they go loan money, they go have wedding, and then they.
But see, that's a problem. So if you feel like you have to loan money to execute a wedding, mm-hmm. then you're not really getting married to get married. You're getting married to show face.
Yeah, so but
I feel like there's differences. Like you can say there's some honest people who actually like took the time and you're like, oh yeah, I've seen them develop, go through trials and figure out how to have a better outcome versus you can see people where you're like, every day they were complaining about the relationship and then you're like, why did you get married?
Born, they got married.
But I see that in like African-American homes too. I mean, I see that in a lot of different cultures. So again, I would say we don't want to focus on like the negative in our community because it makes it seem like such a commonality. Then we're not thinking positively or feeling encouraged.
So don't you think it's a key for us to kind of like touch on these things so we can stop these things from happening, like to be a reason to, because I feel like in order to fix something, you have to touch on the problem, right? Mm-hmm. For the problem to be fixed. I feel like we just let things just fly and just let people just operate however they want to operate in our community. I feel like another thing too, I want to ask you about our community, right? When last you been in Liberia?
Oh, wow. The last time I've been is 2019.
2019? Mm-hmm. 2019? Do you have any kind of, are you guys planning on doing anything in Liberia anytime soon? Heritage and Hustle? You guys because I think we talk about a few projects. What's going on with you and the diaspora people? Because I think you kind of have a relationship with them too, right?
Yeah, I think the overall outcome in terms of establishing relationships with people who have office or people who have the social structure is to make them aware of the young diaspora professionals that are here and the impact that we're making here. And I think collectively, when we use our collective talents and go back home, I think we can drive a larger impact because we actually have the data to show that we do these things. We're not just talk. Like a lot of our, things that we execute is not just based on hypothetical talk. It's mm-hmm. like we're actually doing it. And if you listen to like different podcasts, they just talk about, oh, if we should do this in Liberia, we should do that in Liberia. But you never see them come together and figure out logistically how to do that.
Never did nothing before.
Yeah. So I was speaking to a young guy. He said that since USAID grant had closed, young Liberian business owners are having a struggle on finding resources. I think from what I've seen just on social media and like LinkedIn, Orange is really trying to increase technology and tech and give people the skills. The challenge is
Orange, right? The company Orange?
The company Orange, they have a data digital center. Yeah, so they're doing some major things there and teaching people how to code, how to do all these things. The problem what people are saying is that they don't have jobs. So I'm like, well, why don't you guys sign up for Fiverr? You know, they're like, oh, a lot of us, we haven't had data to do Fiverr. So it's like, okay, so now we have to figure out logistically where is the breakdown, right?
So the crazy thing about that conversation, right, is the company that's making it so hard for the people to get data based off of the way they structure their business, right?
Right.
It's the same people that say they come and provides the help. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, like, because I spend more money in Liberia on data than I spend in America on, like, if I go to Liberia for a whole month, I'm literally, my bill might be like, I might spend like 100 and change, right?
Wow.
And that same phone I get in America, yeah, I might spend like $70, $80 on my bill that month. And the NNSP going to be more in America. Everything going to be more in America. See? So it's like, how are you trying to help us and you also not helping us?
I think that's a fair point, but the thing is, we haven't really, what I've learned about a lot of the organizations and things like that, we haven't really posed a question in a way that challenges them in a way that they're going to receive. Like before this recent change in like social media and how we share information, a lot of times when the U.S. government shares deals with like governments, we don't know nothing about it. We're like, oh yeah, the U.S. give their country $1 billion and we're all excited about it. Nah, social media saying, yeah, the U.S. give $1 billion so they can use all the African health data. They can do all the different disease testing. So then we're wondering why when things like Ebola comes around and we have total disarray, where that came from. Well, it came from the money where they had to get us. The research to take us out of wartime to, start with X, Y, and Z. So I'm pretty sure we can track that down. So
that's a real good conversation, right? But it's funny is that when you find out that information, nobody do anything about it. It's like we just found out that the people didn't give money to collect all the data. Okay, people talked about it, and everybody, what's happening next? What are we gonna do to prevent that? What are we gonna do to make sure that money is going into the right places? I was on the phone before I got here with one of my friends. He works in like the business side of the health field, right? The nutrition side. And he was telling me about this new project that he coming to do in Liberia. He wants to do in Liberia that has to do with a database because we don't have that. Liberia, they're still writing on paper.
Wow.
Everything when you go to court, everything on paper right now. Like
there's no data center,
no data system, right? So he was talking to me about that, and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that'd be a dope idea. So I feel like we need to collab. We that here. We need to come together and collab and put like plans together. Like for example, what he want to do. Imagine somebody want to build a clinic. Somebody that want to do this. They all come together and create just that one model, right? Work that one model. Create another one. Work it. I feel like once we go Liberia, we create our system. The people will have no choice but to get with us because imagine a company like Orange. Look at their plan. What they want to do? They say they want help you. But where you get an internet phone? Because the internet costs so much money. Because when you put that $5 scratch card on your phone, $5 will be for one day.
Yeah. I mean, I think a starting place is to start to have the conversations and network. And that's why I think networking is important. And whenever we come to a space, like when we go here, Just Hustle goes to Liberia, the whole part is to do an assessment. So you want to come to someone like, hey, I love what you guys are doing. Tell me more about that. And then you speak to them in the language that they understand. But unfortunately, and maybe I could be wrong, I think sometimes no one is challenging companies in the language that they understand. And so they're like, these people are stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to really, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's like, the government is like, okay, we need this $1 billion for healthcare, but, this is a cost. What are we going to do about it? There's no one coming up with a solution that would give them an alternative. That could be us.
So speaking about that, right? somebody just posted, I think it was like 2 days ago, saying they said in the past 3 years, the Joseph Boca government have given the youth and sports ministry up to $3.9 million for them to help the infrastructure for the youth and the sports. Like, we are not holding people accountable, right? Because by me going to Liberia, I haven't seen nothing I haven't seen no projects that only thing, the biggest thing in Liberia that counted me, and the counted me makes money. So what is it that they're investing this money in? Like, where is this money going? Because I think they just hired some new girl I don't know her name. All the artists then was shouting her out.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're playing in our faces while our people. And I feel like we need to come together and put an accountability team together from on this end, because if all of us kind of get collectively, right? Because I think they have a team in Liberia of people but it's just on the politics side, right? With the politician agendas, right? So, and I feel like these people can be bought in Liberia. Because if I have a program like Liberia and mana coming in, some kind of politician call me and say, I got some kind of 10 grand for you, you'll shut that thing down. We'll shut the operation down because every man got to eat. But I feel like if we come together here, they can't buy us. Because we're not hungry.
I think that's true. But I also think there's another way to look at it. With the whole social construct of how Liberia is set up, it's one of those things where you have to shake someone's hand, get their buy-in to gain the visibility, and then execute in a way that provides validity and shows exactly what you're doing. So, for instance, if we say, hey, we're going to maybe do an investment group, right? How does that investment group look like? So if we execute that here, and I think last night was just a small smidget of what we can do, is giving people a platform to pitch their investment ideas, right? Now I can take that data and say, hey, Morgan Stanley, hey, this other major bank, right? We have the talent here. These are our metrics. These are some of the young businesses are coming up, and we would love your support. And then when people see us execute a business competition or pitch competition in Liberia, it will speak volumes to what you're doing with that resource. Or if we say, hey, we're going to take our energy and our talents to host, a really nice professional, game, and it's going to be engaging, and we're going to find a different way. I mean, that's your area. So we're not going to say.
So you want to use the peaceful route?
Not that
I want war right now.
No. I would say that it takes more energy to challenge someone than to just take the resources and do it yourself. Like, I maybe I'm hopeful, but I have high confidence if we start doing or executing projects in a really great way with class, with standard, with excellence.
The global standard way.
Global standard, right? Then we'll have the global eyes and global attention.
Come help us. Makes sense.
So then when you said has money, they're not going to go to someone who they saw, like, hopefully they'll go to someone that they felt like execute or knows how to execute well.
But that make a lot of sense. But I think I want the people, and then you get, because
they don't have it for themselves, right?
Yeah, they don't.
They're getting it from someone.
Yes.
So why are you fighting with someone who don't have it for themselves?
Someone just create for the person.
Yeah, I was even telling my other friend, Firestone has a community impact grant. Firestone I think they rebranded as Bridgestone, right? Firestone has a grant to give money to nonprofits here in the U.S. They made money from our country's back. Why have we not asked for a grant applied or tapped into these markets?
Nah, I think the way it's set up in that country, you got to take a look at something. A lot of politicians has their own nonprofit, right? So when the money come in, the people will share the money you get.
Right. So that's where organizations like Heritage and Hustle come in play. Like when we have these opportunities is to go after these grants and then come up with a collective strategy.
So I feel like we gotta. So you saying like our operation should be ran here and just kind of because there are grants given in Liberia itself, right?
Yes, and then what I'm finding, if we structure ourselves here, right, Because one of the things that is hard for people to see is people see Liberians here not collective, not connected, and then go to Liberia and do something. It's just
By
like,
themselves, yeah.
is this like, okay, you're giving us bag of rice. We didn't ask for rice. We asked for $10,000 to start our business so we can give 10 people jobs so they can buy rice for themselves. I think that's what some of the Liberian people are asking for. And I think we're bypassing, those needs, right?
You think in Liberia you think they rather us create ways for them to make money instead of them.
They want to create ways to make money so that they know the systems, they know the resources, right? They have the ability to connect with the people and employ the people in a way that we may not, right? And then in the same token, we have things that we need to do here. I'm pretty sure if you want to develop a website, you need a software engineer. So we have an opportunity to give someone a job. We just needed that pipeline. So that's why I'm even excited about Kadu. I want to see if that could be a new pipeline that can kind of take over what Fiverr is doing. And if you need, let's say you need an assistant. I think we talked about this. You may need, executive assistant. Virtual assistant to help you with your life. Take all your meetings, do all these things. And you have someone doing that in Liberia, taking that, working, when you're sleeping. That is a big move. So now that gives someone a job versus you sending them.
I think I heard about, I think they charge like, I think it's like $50 a month for what Orange has. But you know, Elon Musk went in there, what Starlink.
Oh.
Starlink, they got Starlink in Liberia. Yeah, so a lot of companies was using Starlink. That's when Orange came now. But whatever they got, that fiber they got. Because they're not coming they're coming to compete.
Right.
You understand? With Starlink. So it's like a company like Orange, if you really do the calculation with the kind of money they're making in that space, and it's ridiculous. And they don't have no competition. Why? Because it's just two cell phone companies. And a lot of people have told me they went in that space trying to create it, and it was they was kicked out of there. A lot of companies, a lot of Liberians said they went there, they had the investment to do it. So you're right. We need to collectively work here, put our stuff together, go there, and also have a team of people that's willing to live on ground. We can exchange. Like, some people go do 6 months, some people come home. Like, how the people. Yeah, I feel like if we work that country like that, and we just forget about what they got going over there, I feel like the success rate was going to be so high because people are open for that.
I think it just needs to start with a conversation. I've been meeting with different young entrepreneurs that are Liberians in our same age group that created marketing firms for themselves, that have created security firms for themselves. So I really want us to have that dialogue. We hope it could be something virtual and have that dialogue remotely on Zoom and really get heads together so we can hear from people who
on that
side who've been through, who went from ground zero to having a profitable business, and then sharing with us kind of their experiences and then where they need support. And then that way we can pull in our resources. And it may not be financial. It may be like, hey, I know someone in marketing, or I know someone here, or I know this other, business. And then we can start to collaborate a little bit more. So once we start to collaborate with each other overseas, and I see it could be done more on a business model, right? Mm-hmm. You have people who can do marketing. I need someone to execute marketing, handle my marketing. It's that simple.
Yeah, that make a lot. You said something earlier today too, where it make a lot of sense about like a lot of people talking about things they can do, but they never did nothing before. That's all the business story. A lot of the business story in Liberia were people that wanted to drop businesses in Liberia that never dropped businesses in the
U.S. Yeah.
So they don't even understand nothing. So they can just say, "Oh, I go Liberia, I lost $500,000, bro." Like, you even get $500,000 here.
Right.
Yeah, so let me get back to the commercial record. We'll get back to you. Tap, send, right? The best way, the most reliable way, the fastest way, and the cheapest way to send money in Liberia, West Africa. You can also send it in Ghana, Nigeria, and the list go on. All you have to do right now is go to your phone store right now, right? Mm-hmm. Apple, Android, type in tap, and then for every user, your first time using it, you'll get $10 free. All you gotta use is fries, just fries, 10, right? Capital letter fries 10, and you will get free $10 to send money in Liberia. So tap, It's the way to send money more for. So let me get back to Miss Clark, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Miss Clark, enough about Liberia and all this thing.
No,
Let's
I
talk
think,
about,
but hold
let's
on.
talk about you.
No, we need to address Liberian
Okay, so
healthcare
you
real
want,
quick.
okay, yeah, okay, let's go.
Real quick.
Let's go to the healthcare, right? Healthcare.
Let me say this. When you said no one in Liberia should be hungry, right? I also think that there are herbalistic treatments that we should be exploring.
Nobody should be sick either.
I just say no one should be sick. Granted, those hospitals need basic equipment. I'm not going to take that away, but it pains my heart, right? When people say, oh, you know, the healthcare system is so horrible in Liberia. It's so horrible. It pains my heart because I'm like, here as a medical professional, the healthcare system sucks here.
It's so crazy.
It sucks here.
So
all
crazy.
the technology, all the X-ray we have. More people in our community are dying from cancer than back home.
So it's crazy. I was talking to my friend on the phone coming here. This is what he said to me. He said, Liberia model America, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the American health system wasn't built for our skin color.
It was not.
Wasn't built for us. It was built for the white people, right?
Right.
So when he said that shit, it blew my mind because he was right. So if you're using something in a country to model, because he said to me, like, certain tests that, like something about the kidney.
Yeah, your kidney
If your kidney reads 7, right, as a black person, and a white person kidney reads 7, they would treat that white person because they know you as a black person. They say we more stronger genetically.
Mm-hmm.
So they would think that white person needs help ASAP, but they would think you have a little bit more time, but by the time they make up their mind, you about to die because they didn't take time. They didn't treat you according to the idea of what they think the science thing when it comes to I own about it.
Yeah.
So basically, we using models in our country. We going away from the soil, going away from the natural, all the great things we have, and we want to go to the American people team, the white people team that's not created for us to be in a good standing. You think white people don't want to be living longer than them, be stronger than them, be more than them? You think that's what they want?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, as a medical professional, I think that there are treatments that are helpful. But I think that when we look at what causes the disease in the first place, like this country is not sustained for health, it's actually sustained for disease. And so
America, right?
Yeah, America. Something as simple as like, one story, I had a patient who had really, really high blood pressure, but she was homeless and eating out of canned foods, right? So if you think about our culture, we're not eating natural foods. A lot of the seasonings, I mean, I'm guilty myself, right? Have processed, have chemicals. We don't know what those chemicals are. We just know it tastes good.
The chicken soup and stuff like
that. The chicken soup, right? And then when we think about how all the different like the processing in like the McDonald's, the snacks, all the chemicals that we eat on a day-to-day basis, right? We would eat way less chemicals if we're in Liberia. So no one knows how those chemicals are impacting our cell structure. And that's how we're seeing more cancers, more diseases, right? Even something as simple as most of the time we go back home, don't you feel less stress? Mm-hmm. Don't your body feel less anxious?
I feel so good out over there.
Yeah, you feel chill, right? And when I came back after 2019, I felt like the weight of the world went back on my shoulder. And then you're like, you're so used to coping with it, you don't even know how it's affecting your body
unless you leave it
internally. So I know there's a lot of suffering in Liberia. I'm not going to take that away, right? But I think that people really miss the amount of physical stress that comes from working double. Someone hanging $5 extra over your head. Then you taking all your time, all your good years of your life working. You know how that work, hindering your body. You know what I mean? And then we take that money, we don't even invest it to like say, okay, we're going to work hard for like 6 months and then chill. Even now, if I work a job 3 days a week, I'm like, I working hard. I working hard, you know, because it's just like, you have to understand when your body doesn't feel regulated, when you feel stressed, when you feel anxiety, the next day you got to go to work, you just like stressed out. Like those things are impacting your body. That's how we end up with heart disease. That's how we end up with, you know, metabolic syndrome and all these things that impact us.
Because of stress plays a major role in you living long.
Stress, the type of foods that we have access to, they're not fresh. It's not healthy.
Because
it's all genetically modified.
You take time to really like prepare your food because you're always on the go.
But how can you, but simple bread, you can't even get fresh bread in America, like, easily, that's not processed, but something like, bread, vegetable, you don't have to worry about pesticides in Liberia being on your food.
You don't.
You don't have to worry about chemical on your food. So every day we have to worry about chemical. I mean, how much chemical will we consume? Yeah, in our body. So that's why we're seeing a high rate of cancers. And I would say it would be a challenge for us to really look and see what are the herbal treatments that we're using for our major conditions like malaria, things that have been long standing in that area, and then figure out ways to treat it. Now, there are other things that are American made, like the cancers, some of the viral diseases that are sexually transmitted, and also I feel like some of those are things are laboratory made.
A lot of people are dying from cancers in Liberia too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I heard a few people die from cancers in Liberia. It's like, I don't know, because I feel like we literally getting away from the soil, which you definitely right. I think we need to have more chemists go in Liberia and test some things, try to figure how to like modernize the drugs, like try to figure how to make it look like the modernized kind of drugs. Maybe it would help.
I think that's true, but I think
like the tea, make it into the tea instead of people just boiling the leaf,
right,
turn the leaf into tea, like stuff like that.
Right,
I feel like it could work, but yeah, you're definitely right about that. We literally have everything in our country, and like
we have a lot.
We love going back home because it gives us that release. But you go somewhere where everybody want to leave their place. You get you go to Liberia and you tell anybody in Liberia, you get it,
and they don't even know what they're coming to. They're like, oh, you got me, ma. I'm like, y'all not even the small 6-hour day work y'all doing. Y'all tired. Can you imagine when you go work 16 hours in America? What I look like, and then at the same time you forget someone costing you on top of that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who work, in caregiving, the experience that where people cussing them, you feel demoralized,
crazy,
less than yourself.
Imagine the people that are working in Liberia, they're working to the play with Oma that can cuss, the nursing Oma that can cuss you, they can try to spit on you.
Right.
Few Liberians that work in these like group homes, they've been fired because
they don't know how to cope with that.
The money now slap decline and all kind of thing because our culture isn't built for like
lack of respect.
Yeah, like we're not built for that stuff. What somebody just be costing you for money, Benny.
And even in the corporate environment, those of us who have like worked in those environments too, it's the same. It's just positioned different. You know what I mean? I remember one time I had a manager say, "Oh, you didn't have a conversation with me." I said, my aunt died. And then you were asking HR if my aunt really died. So I'm just kind of like, when you work in those environments, you have to maneuver in a way where it's based on policies. You have to be very calculated with people. All that stuff weighs on your body and your health.
It's a system, though. I think that's a system that working. That's what's working for the people in America. That's what creates America. Creates some kind of, because if you go to Liberia, the security guard sleeping. Like, you're supposed to be watching our house.
Oh, yeah, that was sad.
You're supposed to protect us and you sleeping. Like, what's the idea behind that? And you go tell somebody, I say, oh, I've been working. Oh, did the man tired? What are you doing here? You tired? Why you here?
Why are you here?
Why you here?
Right.
Like, so that's some things from America we can take, right? That can help them play, but something we can just leave.
Well, but here's my thing, right? And I may be wrong. I feel like when it comes to, there's ways to modern Africa and modern Liberia and stay true to who we are. And the more we try to replicate someone else's system and then themselves are not having the best health outcomes or the best life outcomes, they're having suicide, they release crack. A lot of people get on crack. They release opioids. All the people get on opioids. The young children are dying from opioids. So we have to look at, like, not everything in America is good. What are the things in Liberia we need to fix? Is it respect? Is it showing up for work, having a sense of oneself and having pride in your work? And does that come from not being having pride in who you are? And why you don't have pride in who you are and where you came from? Why?
Yeah,
you have to change that narrative and figure out why people are not having pride. Because if you respect yourself, when you go to a job, you're not.
I respect you that too.
You'll go to a job, like you want to actually do your job. But if you have no respect for yourself, then you just kind of.
So it's kind of tough in Liberia. I can't wait till you go back this. We're going back this year, right?
Hopefully.
Last year was hopefully too. This year. Let that be one of them baby people there.
Oh yeah, right. I got you. It coming.
No. But I feel like you're more in the right direction when it comes to trying to figure out how to connect the dots to help your people. Me, you have had a lot of calls before about like how I can have a software approach to my people. But me right now, you got like I'm out of space for like I want you to go back home. When you go home, maybe you might start to see things from my lens, right?
No, I think I hear your lens, and what we always talk about is that how to approaching things with rigor, right? How does that move a mark? You know what I mean? And I think maybe that comes from my whole traumatic experience for relationships, where it's just like, if you're here, like if I spent most of my time fighting with someone, crying why he didn't do that one for me, where would I be?
Where would
You know,
how
I
would
would
you get
still
the
be
message?
stressed, right? But if I took that same energy and put it into
Start doing this show.
and just executing, like you talked about, one of the projects I really love, you talked about when you're in Liberia is having a beach club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not having a website? Why, so we can see the plan layout, and then having a Zoom meeting who's interested in investing and rolling that out. Like it really, let's make it that.
It come down to you kind of understanding like how the economy. So I have people in Liberia right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They telling me every club we went to that was lit, nobody in those clubs. That showed me to tell me, yo, dang, we in trouble. We don't have an economy to sustain
a beach club,
sustain entertainment when the diaspora leaves.
Right, but we don't have an economy to sustain entertainment.
We don't also have a infrastructure to sustain tourism.
But it has to be a pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we look at some of our facilities, right, that are in Liberia, does it look picture worthy? If it does not look picture worthy,
nobody wants to go there.
No one wants to go there.
Because everybody want to take picture now with a new picture word.
If you don't have a good story to tell, it doesn't make sense. You can literally, one of the things we do when you're in Mexico, you can go to the what's it called? Those mountains, those Aztec structures and pyramids. There's nothing there. It's just an old land site, but they made a tourism economy around that, right? Connecting, speaking about their culture, things like that. I'm pretty sure there's an old tribal land site that we can make something, of a culture, but it starts with, like you said, the groundwork, right? The groundwork is roads. The groundwork is data, right? To capture that.
They did. Internet is a very important part. Like we gotta,
having those conversations. Yeah. So if we start with the issues in the infrastructure, then we work on building on top of that versus building the end product with the infrastructure being broken. You can't build a beach club when there's no accessible road to go there.
There's no accessible road to go there. And then also you can't build like a beach club that you gotta maintain it, and then the people they're only gonna use it for November, December, January.
But it's repositioning. I think a lot of what I've seen Ghana do, right? And I think we can take away from that. They have a shea butter museum. What's so much like that? That's a wellness exhibition.
When last you been to Ghana?
I haven't.
You gotta go. When you go to Ghana, you just forget. But I think you just you know what Ghana have done? Ghana. No, let's forget about Ghana.
Right. Let's not compare.
No, Ghanaians.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the real problem is? The whole Liberia conversation. Who you think it is?
Liberians.
No, us. That Kenya, we never go back home to go fix that place.
Oh, okay.
You understand? Ghanaians come here, other nationals come here, they go back home and they fix their place. They build, everybody building. So that creates like a space when people come, they see nice things.
Mm-hmm.
People love being around nice things. I was in Ghana, I seen an old ma. I think white old ma, she probably like in her 80s, she's not retired from America. I asked her, what are you doing here? She said, I just moved here. I've been here for 6 months now.
Oh,
Living in that place. You get it?
Yeah.
The people who have created, you go Ghana, you think in America.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
So let's just forget about places that Ghana we're talking about.
No, but I think that can happen. I think that like...
It can happen. I know it can happen.
For
we
me,
gotta stop making it happen.
There's kind of like, I do try to invest where I can. And I think I'm hopeful that we can figure out better pipelines. I think Akiva Investment Group just has something in Atlanta that we partner with them talk about real estate and different investment opportunities. So I think once that investment is, when we start to structure ourselves better, then it will make sense. Because we have to see outcome. We have to make sure it makes sense.
No,
We have
no,
to be on the
but
same page.
no, but the key about us, I feel like our investment at Liberian got to understand is our presence on that land. That's the first investment because whatever project you got to maintain it, right? Maintenance is the key. Somebody that don't know how to do, somebody that never seen something before, they don't understand how to maintain it.
Right.
So we want to create all these projects that gonna just make us stay here in America and just watch it grow in Liberia. So we got to get to this place where because when we start going home, our children then will start wanting to go home. And then because they got to come to us, they got to be with us. We can't make it Liberia where we see it as a retirement place, right? Because that's how our place is being ran, right?
Right.
When what else you can do for that place?
Yeah, nothing.
You just going to absorb everything that have already been created. We don't even have enough there. You're going to take away from the poor people that think they get there for themselves. So we got to find ourselves in that land before anything move forward. So I feel like that's where we are missing Liberians. We're not understanding the importance of being in Liberia. Come here, work, build yourself, get information, and go take it down there and create that place and build that place. So
I think we can. And again, always the big part about infrastructure, because December, as you know, a lot like I wanted to go to Liberia, and I think a lot of people do, but I don't understand why, like in 2019, the tickets were like, I think I got a ticket for like around $750, $900.
Because I don't think it was like a big thing. Like
now tickets are like $2,500. Even
if you buy it early, it's like $1,400. You do it right now, it'd be like $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 max.
So maybe I have to look into it.
Yeah,
because I just be feeling like the tickets have increased exponentially.
Yeah, it definitely is. I really think I think we need to start planning this trip early ahead of time. Like, if you want to go to Liberia at the end of the year, buy your ticket January, February, March, around that time. So, do you have any project coming up? Like, what's some of the new projects you have coming up?
Yeah. I think for now, the projects that we have coming up is I talked a little about having a Zoom conference or just a quick connect with local entrepreneurs in Liberia, and then also connecting the dots for people that are here that are in business or entrepreneurship as well. That's one of the projects we want to see executed with Heritage and Hustle. And then the next one, the diaspora conference is coming in DC.
When are they doing it this year? It's in September. It's in September, right?
Yeah, I think it's in September. Last year was in DC. So if it's somewhere, in the US, I want to see how we can get more young Liberians on some of those panels, maybe having some intentional workshops.
What month is this? What? March, right?
March.
So they just playing that secret before they release it. What's it?
We don't even know. So hopefully we'll know. And then,
it's so right.
Yeah, I mean, if things work out with Liberia, hopefully we can have something in December. But
yeah, shout out to the cooler though. Shout out to her, man.
We'll just table it tonight. Yeah,
a little bit. But like I said, man, big up to you for everything you are doing for the culture, and it's crazy. I never thought I would be saying that with a clock.
He read it now. He read it now.
Shout out to the clock, man. Shout out to the clock. One shot for the clock. My beginning Liberia said one shot. Yeah, shout out to that, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But nice talking to you, man. And I say I'm very proud of you for that event you put together yesterday. It was amazing and brought some amazing people together. And I hope that, because I'm in this chat with some people in them too that's working on some projects, and we're going to try to see how we can put you in there we all can work. It's a lot of, some big dogs there. Yeah, they may not kind of area, but they may not kind of to make sense. So that's what we got to come together to do as Liberians.
And figure out how that makes sense and what's going on.
Sense, you get.
Yeah.
So shout out to you. Are you excited about the LEA too? You going to be there?
Yeah, I'm excited. I love kind of what's going on with the LEA this year. I think there's a lot of changes that are for the better, just more structure. And so I'm excited to see what they'll put together.
You're going to be killing that red carpet, right? What are you wearing? You know what you're wearing?
Oh, I'm not a dresser. So we'll see if someone has any stylist or knows how to design dresses or outfits, please reach out to me. Yep.
So let everybody know where they can find you, social media, email, website, whatever you want to give to them to be able to contact you, because I feel like a lot of young women, a lot of old men too young to get with it, get together. Because so they will keep talking about young. Some of the old men need to put that set together. They do that to this shit.
No, I think it's coming. It's coming. We just this generation, we just coming out of wartime. So
I don't want to hear that war story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're revamping. I think Heritage and Hustle. I think what we're seeing in media is changing how we look at our community, and I'm very confident. I believe that what God will do is that when we start to see more positive images, people will jump on board, because it's not going to be cool anymore to look trashy. It's not going to be cool anymore to just be out somewhere and you're not making business moves. It's not going to be cool anymore. I think one of my friends, it was so funny. She posted on Snapchat. She said, "Oh, I'm not going to a club no more unless I'm getting paid." I said, now you understand. You can't be in the club every weekend. You're not getting paid.
No, not everybody can get paid.
All I'm saying is it has to be a mindset change. You have to understand.
You can meet somebody. At least you go to meet somebody, important people in the club.
No, but it's a mindset change. It's understanding that you have value and making sure that you're marketing your value, whatever that looks like for you. You know.
So I want to ask you one more question about a very important woman in our society, Liberian history, Mana Ellie Seddon Johnson. What is your outlook on her, and what are some of the things you would like to say about her to the world and things like that? What do you think about her? Your honest thought about her.
I was also, if you don't have too much to say, you don't need to say nothing.
Nice to say that already.
No,
okay.
I mean, what I've observed is that from the post-war execution, I think the things that she did was great, right? And I'll be transparent. I don't understand too well. I would have to do my research on her involvement, during the war, right? It breaks my heart how we have a lot of these revolutions, right? And now we're seeing it even, overseas in other countries, how we're having these, American-backed revolutions or changing of regimes, and then the outcome is not improved. So I think for that's one of the things where it's kind of disappointing, because who knows what Liberia could be today if it did not have that 20 year of like civil unrest, right? And so was she right? Probably in her mind, she was right about her involvement.
You don't want public flog matter,
No, I don't have no negative comment, because I don't know all her research. I would say is that we have to as Liberians, take ownership of how we want our country.
So who are some of the powerful Liberian women that you want to give a shout out to today?
Oh, wow.
That impacted you any type of way?
I would say Lima, pronounce her name wrong, Lima Gobli. She wrote a book, and she also kind of won a Nobel Peace Prize. I really like the work that she did in Liberia, someone that I definitely look up to. So, yeah.
Just her?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I think hold on, let me say this.
Yeah,
there's a lot of...
You ain't got some? You got more than that?
There's a lot of great Liberian women. What I would love to see is, I want the connection between the older established Liberian women to really make an investment in the younger generation and make a tangible investment where we can really see those outcomes. So
I'm all for that.
But contact me you can add us on Instagram, Heritage and Hustle. You can also reach out to us if you have any collaboration ideas. We'd love to hear, and then figure out how we can have alignment at contact@heritageandhustle.com. And it was nice meeting you guys. Thank you.
They're still bluffing me to come to Puerto Rico to headline my networking event, but it's okay.
Okay, raise your hand. I want everyone today to go in JBiz DMs and say that if Morovia Express was held as a cultural explosion, maybe sometime in the summer, just now on July 26th, put in his DMs if you will go.
Know what you're thinking.
If you'll go, because I mean, I've been barking up that tree and just saying like,
I guess we change the month
and allow all the states to have their July 26th. And then have it be like a, exclusive excursion weekend where Liberians can connect. We'll have different activations. What I envision is we'll have the Liberian Women Collective doing some type of women's brunch, yoga, where the girls can get cute, and celebrate each other. We'll have a whole festival with all the artists. You'll be there. Then we'll have the night event. We'll have,
the club, we'll have a good time. But I feel like this year is
we'll have a cultural
for
thing.
That switch. I think maybe next year we talk. Yeah, next year.
Yeah, but you're supposed to include me. Bacardi Factory right there. I want to send it to you. We could have went to Bacardi Factory, did some liquor testing, really like expand, see how to make
we'll always come back to. We can always go back to these places. But I feel like what we're gonna do.
That's what I want.
Yeah, what we're gonna do. I think
we need a weekend. We need a cultural
we could do that next.
Exploration.
I think next year we can
get into our roots.
More next year. Maybe this year is too late. This year we're already in Puerto Rico, full more beaches.
Yeah.
Vibe and this year, but next year we'll work.
Next year, we're connected because Liberians came from all over, right? The Caribbeans, the Americas, and all that. So why can't Monrovia Express be a relation to that? Have the component of enjoyment, but also have the component of understand the cultural history, the roots, and where other people have come from. What makes us just recognition of our pride and who we are.
That's a good idea. See. All right, thank you for coming. Shout out to you. So, make sure you follow, subscribe, and we don't want to keep telling you that to you. Because y'all won't be watching our show.
And
but see y'all come to me, see y'all watch that show and subscribe to that show yet. We'll find out we had a jail block you from watching our show.
No, he was.
Now, shout out to everybody, man, that support the podcast, man. Shout out to everybody who came outside last night to support my sister. And like I said, we're going to keep pushing this needle. And Liberia to the world. We're going to keep putting Liberia on a global stage.
Yes. Is it Monrovia Express? Not Monrovia Express. In the Fries taking off. In the Fries are taking off. Doing a tour.
Doing a tour.
Yeah. So y'all need to welcome people when they come to your city when they're going on a tour.
Come to a city near you. All y'all that get all that beat off, you want to talk. When y'all say, I'm talking to you, yo, can't talk that day.
Yeah.
I want to talk that day in the audience. So we have a interaction with the audience. I think right now we have Philly, Delaware, Minnesota, New York, DC.
I really want to. I'll be tuning in. My favorite city. I really want to be tuned in to see Minnesota.
You come Minnesota?
I'm tuned in to see Minnesota. Who will talk in the audience? Who will say what?
I think gonna say right.
Yeah, but there's some power players in Minnesota.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I feel like the moment we get to connect the sound people with the Christian people in the community.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit for the Liberian culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that. Yeah, man. Nice talking to you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you have a safe trip back home. Shout out to
you
for flying down, coming and talking with us.
All right.
All right, love.
Bye.
See how you said it was?
Yeah, that's all. You really brought up a romance.
You see how easy it was?
Yeah, you really brought up a romance.